Just a passenger. The flight attendant laughed, then froze when the black woman saved the plane. The plane lurched so hard that the overhead bins rattled like teeth in a skull. Flight 214 from Heathrow to JFK, a red-eye packed with 312 souls, had just crossed the black water when the first jolt hit. Oxygen masks dangled. A baby wailed. And in seat 14A, drive. Amara Okiki, still smelling faintly of the hospital soap she'd scrubbed off in the airport lounge, gripped the armrests and whispered the same prayer her grandmother taught her in Igbo, Chineke, keep us. Up front, lead attendant Marcus Hale snapped into his practiced smile. Folks, just a little chop. Nothing to. Another drop cut him off. The seat belt sign blazed red. Marcus's grin faltered when the cockpit door cracked open and Captain Ruiz staggered out, one hand clamped to his chest. I think. Heart, he rasped before collapsing against the galley wall. Screams rippled down the aisle. Marcus froze, microphone dangling like a dead thing. A junior attendant, Priya, fumbled for the defibrillator while passengers filmed on glowing phones. In the chaos, Marcus caught sight of Amara unbuckling. She was moving against the tide, calm as sunrise. Ma'am, back in your seat. He barked. Amara didn't slow. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. Move. Marcus laughed. Sharp, nervous, the kind of laugh that slips out when fear dresses itself as bravado. Just a passenger, he muttered, stepping aside only because Priya was already shouting for space. Amara dropped to her knees beside Captain Ruiz. His lips were blue, pulse thready. She ripped open his shirt, buttons pinging off the bulkhead. Priya, AED, now. Marcus, clear the aisle and get me the medical kit. Her voice carried the quiet authority of someone who'd restarted hearts in war zones and Harlemers alike. Marcus blinked, then obeyed. The plane bucked again. The intercom crackled with the co-pilot's strained voice. We've lost hydraulics, preparing for emergency. Static swallowed the rest. Amara slapped pads onto Ruiz's chest. Clear. The jolt arched his spine. Nothing. She started compressions, elbows locked, counting under her breath. Sweat beaded on her forehead, but her rhythm never broke. A businessman tried to film. Amara's eyes flicked up, fierce. Put that away or I stop. The phone dropped. Second shock. Still nothing. The cabin lights flickered. Outside, lightning stitched the clouds. Amara leaned close to Ruiz's ear. You have a daughter in Queens, right? Wedding next spring. Stay for the first dance. She pumped harder. Third shock. A beep. Steady, defiant. Color crept back into Ruiz's cheeks. Amara exhaled, then turned to Priya. Oxygen, high flow, and someone get the co-pilot on the sat phone. Tell him I need full control column authority in 30 seconds. Marcus, hovering, finally found his voice. You can't. I can stabilize a patient and I can read a yoke. My father flew crop dusters in Enugu. I logged hours before med school. Move. The co-pilot, Jenkins, pale as printer paper, met her in the cockpit doorway. We're at 28,000 feet, gliding on fumes. Halifax is closest, but the runway's short and the crosswind. Give me the seat. Amara slid in, fingers dancing over controls she hadn't touched in 15 years. The yoke felt foreign yet familiar, like a childhood song. She keyed the mic. Halifax Tower, Delta 214 Heavy, declaring emergency. One soul revived, requesting vectors. Static, then a calm Canadian voice. 214, turn left heading 280, descend and maintain 10,000. Winds 270 at 25 gusting 35. You are number 1. Amara banked gently, the Atlantic a black void below. Her hands remembered muscle memory her mind had filed away. She trimmed the flaps, nursed the dying engines, and spoke to the cabin over the PA. This is Dr. Okiki. Captain's stable. We're diverting to Halifax. Keep seats upright, trays stowed, and for the love of God, hold on to each other. In the cabin, strangers clutched hands across aisles. A British grandmother pressed her rosary into a teenager's palm. Marcus, no longer laughing, passed out water with shaking hands. The descent was brutal. Ice blazed the windshield. The plane groaned like an old ship. At 3,000 feet, the runway lights appeared, tiny, flickering promises. Amara's voice stayed level, gear down, flaps full. The landing was a controlled crash. Tires screamed, reverse thrust roared, the plane fishtail-ed in the crosswind but held the centerline. They stopped 10 feet from the threshold's end. Silence, then applause thundered through the fuselage. Fire trucks raced alongside, lights strobing red and white. Paramedics swarmed. Amara stepped out last, legs trembling, and found Marcus waiting on the tarmac, eyes wet. "I owe you everything," he said. Amara shook her head. "You owe the captain a thank you card. And maybe a raise for Priya." She never flinched. Marcus laughed again, but this time it was soft, wondering. "Doctor." "Amara, I judged the cover." She smiled, exhaustion cracking her composure. "We all do. Just try not to do it at 28,000 feet. Inside the terminal, passengers formed a ragged line to hug her. A little girl in braids handed her a crumpled drawing, a stick figure plane with a cape. Amara knelt. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Destiny," the girl whispered. "You saved my daddy." Amara's eyes stung. She tucked the drawing into her pocket beside her stethoscope. Later, in the crew hotel, Captain Ruiz, bandaged, alive, found her in the lobby. "Weddings in April," he said, voice rough. "You're invited. Front row." Amara laughed until she cried. Outside, snow began to fall over Halifax, soft and forgiving. Somewhere above the clouds, Flight 214's black box recorded the moment a passenger became a pilot, a stranger became family, and a laugh froze into awe. And in airports across the world, the story spread: never underestimate the person in 14A.